Hello again. We've all now recovered from Christmas and New Year, just about. I wanted to talk to you briefly about something we've touched on before with engraving, which is marriage initials. I'm going to show you, hopefully you'll see what I mean by that. So you've got a top initial with two underneath it, and I've always believed or maintained that top initial is the surname, and the first initial here is the husband, and the second initial is the wife. And you'll have seen me in a previous video say that. I must say that about several months, maybe even a year ago, a specialist in America asked the question, how do we know that those are what they mean? And, I was a bit stumped to answer him, because I just said, well, that's what they are. But then I thought, I've got no proof that that's what they are. And he'd actually found on some American silver that this last initial, as far as his researches and understandings went, was the surname. I didn't think much more about it. I then pondered it, constantly, screaming in the middle of the night, as to what these initials are. I've always maintained that top initial is the surname. I then looked round for examples, and obviously you get these initials, and sometimes in the past you get a crest, and that crest has related to the surname on the top. But, was I making the mistake of relating the two and excluding the possibility of the third? It's unlikely, but it was a possibility. I also looked round for where else these initials occur. Now, funnily enough, they don't. It's not something I thought about really, but they don't occur anywhere other than Britain and America. Britain and America is where you get this sort of marriage initials. It doesn't really happen on continental silver, doesn't happen on Russian or any other area of silversmithing. It's a uniquely British / American thing. And I wondered if the American silversmiths, certainly the ones that weren't trained in Britain, the Dutch American silversmiths, had seen this type of initialing, but not understood explicitly how it's supposed to work. So there might be a difference there. But that's again assuming that I'm right about this. So you can imagine I was interested when I found this spoon last week at auction. It's a Hanoverian pattern table spoon. It's made in London. It's got quite reasonable but not fantastic marks for Caleb Hill, who was a specialist spoon maker, and it was assayed in London in 1731, 1732, because obviously the date letter goes over 2 years, and it had these marriage initials on the back. And I should say, for those that can't see it, it's a P at the top and a TE underneath. And again, P would be the surname, T would be the husband's name, first name, E would be the wife's first name. How do you prove it? Well, as I say, I was very excited to find this spoon because I haven't shown you the front of it yet, have I? The front of it, you get this with some Georgian spoons, you get a bit of additional engraving. We had this, and I'll show it you all in close up. It is a period inscription. And what does it say? Well, I'll read it to you. Thomas and Elizabeth is in brackets then, Burnby, Palmer, married 1732. This is what we call primary evidence. It's not a document associated with an object. It's not a family tradition associated with an object. This is on the object. This was engraved when this was engraved. This is absolute, unequivocal proof that the P at the top is the surname. We've got it inscribed here, Palmer. The T is the first name of the husband, Thomas, and the E is the first name of his wife, Elizabeth, previously Elizabeth Burnby. The date 1732 accords absolutely correctly with the date letter, which is for 1731 and 1732. So there you have it. I haven't seen anything else engraved on the object, either with a crest or an inscription, that disproves this. This now is my working point of view for this. That is what marriage initials mean. This spoon proves it. There may be a difference in America, and I think that's possibly likely because it wasn't a widespread practice. It wasn't practiced in Holland, in Spain, in France, in Germany. You don't get these initials there. So it's pretty much a British thing. And if you're another goldsmith from another country working in America, that I think is where the confusion lies. But it's cleared it up. And until this spoon turned up, it was debatable. I could have been wrong. It's always very good with antiques to question yourself and to keep questioning yourself. Some of the worst mistakes I've ever seen are people that have been doing this business longer than me, and they don't flex, they don't think, they don't occasionally say that they're wrong and they've been getting it wrong all their years. We all do. We all get it wrong all the time because we're all still learning. So we're at this level now, and 20 years from now, the silver dealers that come after us, the collectors, they'll know that much more from all the researches that we're doing, that other people are doing, and it moves on. But this, at least, I can say and share with you today, is the unequivocal proof of what marriage initials are. So fabulous spoon. I'll show you the engraving very briefly in close-up, but a momentous find. So I was thrilled to find it. It's still all out there. So until next week, good hunting and goodbye.